What's up, Sen Squad? Welcome back to another Brawl Stars video. Today we're going to be looking at all the stats of the new brawler Amber, who was just revealed in the most recent Brawl Talk. From all the footage they gave us, we can determine pretty much all of her stats, and though they might be changed slightly before she does come out, most of these are probably going to be fairly accurate and are going to be what she actually is going to be like in-game. And I've actually found some things that I haven't seen anyone else on YouTube cover, so make sure to watch until the end so you can get all the information possible about this new brawler. So Amber has a maximum health of 4,620, and her main attack, as you've all seen, shoots a bunch of different flames one after another as long as you're aiming. So when you're not aiming, you're not shooting anything, and when you are aiming, you are using up your ammo. So there isn't just 3 or 4 ammo like other brawlers, it's like a continuous bar that goes down as you're aiming and then recharges when you're not aiming. So each of the flames that she shoots, it seems like they can each hit multiple enemies, and they go to a max distance of about 8 tiles, but it isn't in a perfectly straight line. So her attack spreads sort of like max, where it's like a very thin cone shape and it spreads out to a max width of about 2 tiles at the very end of her range. So this does make it a bit more difficult to aim because it is somewhat unpredictable where the flames are going to land. But it does sort of seem like the flames alternate going on the left side of the cone and then the right side and then the left side and the right side and so on, sort of like max does as well, with the 2 shots on the left side and the 2 shots on the right side. And then each of these flames that hits an enemy is going to deal 336 damage. But obviously that's not as important as how many flames she's actually able to put out. So I counted from the footage in the Brawl Talk that she was able to release 17 flames over the course of 1.9 seconds. So if you divide those, it comes out to just under 9 flames per second that she's able to use, which corresponds to almost exactly 3,000 damage per second that she's able to output. But obviously her flames aren't infinite, so she also has to run out at some point. So I took a look at her ammo bar and how fast that depleted, and out of the 83 pixels that I saw in her ammo bar, about 31 were depleted after 1.5 seconds. So you divide those numbers and you can figure out that she has about 4 seconds of total ammo, which means if you're assuming that there's just under 9 flames per second, that means you're getting about 36 flames total that she can use with a full bar of ammo, which has a potential to do about 12,000 damage, which is kind of insane. But then again, if you think about it in the context of other brawlers who can unload all their ammo ridiculously quickly, that 12,000 number doesn't seem as crazy. And now in terms of her reload speed, we can just do the same thing we did for her ammo bar just when she was reloading, and I found that she was able to recover 29 out of 83 of her pixels in her ammo bar in 2 1/3 seconds. So that means that she takes about 6.6 seconds to fully recharge her ammo bar. And if you want to think about this in terms of how much ammo you're going to be gaining based on how much time you wait, you're going to be recharging about 5 flames every second. And if we want to compare this to other brawlers, like typical brawlers that would have 3 ammo, this would equate to her having about a 2.2 second reload speed, which does seem pretty slow. But then again, she doesn't have to use an entire third of her ammo bar all at once. And then the last thing we can talk about with her main attack is how fast her flames actually travel. So there's about a 1/5 of a second, a 0.2 second delay before her attack actually starts from the time that you start aiming. And then after that first flame is released, it takes about 0.7 seconds to fully make it to the end of the range. So if you're aiming at someone who's at the very end of that 8 tile range that you have, then there's going to be about a 0.9 second of total delay between the time when you're aiming and the time when it actually hits them. And same goes for if you're adjusting your aiming. If you've already started aiming and they're moving to the left and you adjust where you're aiming to the left as well, it's going to basically take 0.9 seconds about to catch up and have the flames actually go to where you're aiming them. So this delay also adds to the difficulty with using Amber because you have to make sure that you're constantly leading your shots and aiming where your opponents will be in 0.9 seconds. Now let's talk about her super, which was something else that was shown a lot in the Brawl Talk. So the amount of flames you need to actually charge at the super, we really don't know because the super button wasn't actually shown at all in the Brawl Talk, but we do know basically all of the other stats. So the projectile for the super, after you launch it, it takes about 1.3 seconds to hit the ground. And now the actual area of effect of this super is a bit interesting. So wherever this container of oil lands, it's going to create a 5x5 circle, which is essentially just a 5x5 square of tiles with the corners chopped off. But there's also going to be oil spread from where Amber is when she throws the super to the center of that circle. And this distance can be a maximum of 6 tiles. So that means from where Amber is to the very edge of her circle is going to be a total range of 8 tiles with this super. And then obviously the fun part of her super is that when you attack it with your main attack, the oil will ignite and it takes about 1 second to deal damage and then disappear. And now I'm not sure anyone has figured out the damage for it yet, but I actually found in the very last frame of when they were showing this super being ignited and an opposing penny Penny walked in, she actually took exactly 700 damage. And she turned yellow with little fire animation around her, just like you would see if you got hit by something like El Fuego, which is El Primo's star power. That also inflicts fire damage. So this means that that fire damage probably lasts over a few seconds, similar to Crow or El Fuego like I was just talking about. And the only real comparison we have is El Fuego, which lasts for 4 seconds. So it might be good to assume that this also lasts for 4 seconds, meaning that it would deal a total of 2,800 damage. But then again, it could easily be longer or shorter. Personally, 2,800 damage seems a bit on the high side, but then again, the super also seems very, very difficult to actually hit because you can see the area of effect that it's going to have. So if you just constantly avoid it, then none of your opponents are ever going to walk into the oil. I guess we'll have to wait and see until this actually comes out to see how long that this fire damage lasts. And then the other interesting thing about the super is that they showed that you can actually burn the grass when you ignite the oil. So this is a great way to clear opponents' cover, but it still leaves walls. So on maps that have a lot of walls and grass directly behind them, burning the grass really isn't going to do all that much. But it is still going to be pretty useful on maps that are largely made of grass. And now while we don't know really anything about her gadgets or her star powers yet, I do have maybe a slight idea. So I was actually looking at her movement speed, which is like the one stat I haven't talked about yet, and she actually seems to move really fast. So it's hard to tell because she never really moves in a straight line, but she seems to be on par with the very fast brawlers like Crow and Leon, and honestly she might even be moving faster than them. So either she's just a really fast brawler in general, or this could be an effect of one of her star powers. It could be a permanent speed change, or maybe something cool would be if she's running in the oil, her speed is boosted because, you know, oil is slippery, so you could be sliding all over the place. But she definitely seems to be fast, even if her star powers have nothing to do with her movement speed. But that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to join the Send Squad by subscribing and turning on notifications and going to your settings and enabling notifications there as well, so you know when I'm going to post videos all related to this upcoming update as soon as it drops in Brawl Stars. But that's all for today, guys, so see you later.